قال رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Jazakallah khair for joining CLD's Arabic Level 1 classes. We are on lesson number 4. Today's topics are gender introduction substitute, which is badal, the zarf, which is adverb, and then we have adjective, which is na'at, the relative pronoun, ismul mawsul, and then al-fi'l madi, so the past tense. Okay, so as I've said before, you can download these resources online, inshallah. Okay, gender introduction. In Arabic, you do have feminine and masculine. Okay, so nouns are either feminine and masculine. Okay, so usually a masculine noun can be changed to feminine simply by adding ita marbuta. Ta marbuta is the small ta here. Okay, so it's not the open ta, it's the ta marbuta. You put a fatha on the last letter before the ta. Okay, so here you'll see previously mudarrisun was with the double vowel dhamma. Then when you put the ta marbuta, that takes the double vowel, so you say mudarrisatun. Okay, and that's feminine. Same with talibun and talibatun. And then you have two feminine nouns with a ta, which is an open ta. We say ta maftuh. So ta maftuha. And this is ukhtun, so that's the open ta, and bintun has an open ta. You have ibn, bint, ukhtun, and akhun. So bintun is a girl, ibn is a boy, ukhtun is a sister, and akhun is a brother. All feminine nouns have a ta marbuta or a her ta al maftuh. Okay, so either one. Especially when you come to doing building on grammar and looking at complete feminine plural, the sound feminine plural, you'll understand how we change the gender by using dal maftuha. Ummun is a feminine noun, but it doesn't take ta marbuta. Okay, so there's some that are naturally feminine, but may not be obvious because they don't take the ta marbuta, and that just comes to you revising and knowing which words they are. Shamsun is another one that is feminine but doesn't take ta marbuta. The other thing is that not all nouns ending with ta marbuta or ta maftuha are feminine. So Hamza, Baytun, okay, it's not feminine, even though they may end in the ta. So there's always exception to the rules, and I think that's really important to understand because you have that same sort of concept in English as well. Okay, so we're now going to go through the ism ishara, which is hadhihi and tilka. We've already gone through the masculine one. Okay, so we went to ism ishara, went through ism ishara, the demonstrative nouns, which are dhalika and hadha. Now we're going to go to the feminine nouns, which are tilka and hadhihi. So if you are talking about something that's feminine, you need to put before that hadhihi sa'atun. Okay, this is what. So previously we said hadha baytun. Okay, so as we've said, that just because the bayt has a ta, an open ta, doesn't make it a feminine noun. So we'd say hadha baytun for a masculine. For a feminine, we say hadihi sa'atun. Okay, and here you have siyara. Okay, siyara or siyaratun. You say tilka siyaratun. That is a car. Okay, so that is a car. We say tilka. We don't say dhalika. Here you have, just as a reminder, of mu'annath and mudhakkar, feminine and masculine. So feminine nouns, when you use a demonstrative noun for any feminine nouns, you say hadhihi and tilka, this and that. So for masculine, hadha, this, and dhalika, that. Okay, ismu ishara lil qarib. We said that which is close. So these are used for anything that we are pointing out that is close to us. So we say this because it's in a focus. Then those things that are far from us, lil ba'id, which are far from us, we use tilka or dhalika. So that is a concept. Depending on the noun that you're describing, you will use them accordingly, feminine or masculine. Gender of baby names. Okay, so double members are usually feminine. Okay, so anything that's in pairs, basically what they are trying to say here, anything that comes in pairs is usually feminine. Single members are usually masculine, so anything that is a singular, so your head, ra'sun, would be masculine, and they do have masculine and feminine genders for referring to body parts and even objects, which in English you wouldn't have. So yadun, which is hand, because it's two hands, it's a pair, it comes under the category of feminine. Ainun, rijalun, udhunun. Okay, so ear, legs, eyes, and hand. Then you have ra'sun, which is the head, anfun, which is the nose, fammun, the mouth, and wajh, or wajhun, which is the face. And all these are, and you have to learn them. By the way, this comes with a revision. There is no easy way of knowing them. You just need to sit down and revise what are feminine and masculine nouns so that you understand, especially those that don't take a dhamma buddha. So here it's not very obvious which ones are dhamma buddha, but the trick here is to remember that anything usually in pairs is feminine. Gender and nominal sentence. So we have gender of mubtada and khabar. So it must be the same. So it follows it. So you cannot have them not matching. So basically it's saying that you match the mubtada, the subject and the predicate, which is the khabar. So mu'annath, we say Fatimatu talibatu. Okay, Fatima is a student. Muhammadun talibun. Okay, so this is mudhakkar, masculine and feminine list. As-sayyaratu jadidatun, the car is new. Al-kitabu jadidun. Okay, so it's the same thing. We're saying new, we're saying student, but we're converting them into feminine by putting or adding that ta marbuta. Hadihi the jajatun. Okay, so this is a rooster. Hadihi diqun. Okay, or hadi the jaja chicken, and here the rooster. Tilka nafida, dhalika babun. So here we say this is that is a window, and that is a door. So here we're using that. That is a window, and that is a door, and that is a chicken, and that is a rooster. And here we say siyara jadidun. So there's no hada or hadi or tilka. There's no demonstrative pronoun here. I hope that's clear. So here what we're really focusing on, how to convert nouns into feminine and masculine. Okay, so the mubtada, which is the subject and the information, the khabar. We then have ismu ishara, which is hadihi, and then we follow, if the noun is feminine, we will use feminine demonstrative nouns. So ismu ishara will become feminine. If we are talking about anything that's far away and it is feminine, we'll say tilka, which is a demonstrative noun of that, lil ba'id. Okay, so lil qarib, hadha, for anything that we're describing which is masculine. Anything that we're describing that is lil ba'id, which is far, we will use dhalika for a masculine. So this is something just to remember, and when you are reading Arabic, just to bear in mind when you are writing, when to use the masculine and feminine. Here's a little bit of a grammar, so technical terms again. Badal is something that we call a substitute. So any noun, okay, so if we look here, a substitute is a definite noun. Okay, so it's naturally definite. And it's when is marifa, following it, a demonstrative noun. So basically what they're trying to say is when you have an ismu ishara following a noun, okay, a definite noun, it becomes a substitute. Okay, so following a demonstrative noun. Okay, so a substitute is a definite noun which is following the ismu ishara. So this would be badal, and it has a here in badal. So the reason why it's badal is a substitute because it comes after hadha. Okay, so here we have the house is new, mubtada, subject, khabar, information. Mubtada, we already said in the previous session that subject can also be hada. Okay, and khabar is jadid. Okay, so that is mubtada. So here's the grammatical term. So this is mubtada, the subject, and then we have al-bayt, which is badal. Then you have khabar, which is jadid, new. So this house is new. Okay. Or this is a new house. Okay, and so that's I hope that's clear, inshallah. So that's just a little bit of grammar just to understand what constitutes badal. Adverb, which is dharf, okay, and dharf is a noun that indicates a place or a time. So you have dharf makan and dharf zaman. Inshallah, we come to them. I don't know if they've put them here. Dharf acts as a mudaf. We already seen what mudaf is. A mudaf is what is possessed and what is a possessor. So the noun following it is mudaf ilayh. Dharf can never be a mubtada, can never be a subject, even if the sentence starts with it. So if anything, if there is dharf at the beginning of the sentence, it does not become a subject. Okay, examples of adverb of place, dharf al makan are these, and these are really important to learn, especially when you are conversing and you're asking for directions. So half means behind, taht means under, imam means in front, and fawq means on top. Okay, so here we have huna, here, hunak, there, baina, between, qarib, near. So these are all dharf zaman. Hunak means here, okay. Hunaka means there, okay. Hunaka. Baina means in between, okay. And qariba means near. Examples of dharf. So that's what, sorry, is dharf makan. This is dharf makan, and this is dharf zaman. Okay, so here is dharf makan. Dharf zaman is basically time. Dharf makan is a place. So adverb of a place, and adverb of time, dharf zaman. You have layl, which is night, sabahan, which is morning, dhuhran, which is noon, masa'an, which is evening, ams, which is yesterday, al-yawm, which is today, and ghadan, which is tomorrow. There's some examples in the Quran that we can see. So here you have highlighted. So you have in the Quran fawq, which means above. Okay, taht means, you know, the shajar below, under the tree. Okay, and this one fawq, adhabi, so adhab meaning a punishment. Yom al-qiyamah, the day of resurrection. Ghadan means tomorrow. Baina means in between something. Okay, Allah SWT says in the Quran that the shaitan will come in between your hands, baina yad. So Allah SWT is telling us that in the Quran, and He uses adverbs of dharf al-makan. So these are dharf al-makan. And then you have dharf time, the zaman and makan. Okay, so now we're moving on to adjective, which is na'tun. Okay, so what is a na'tun? It's an adjective, and how do we use it? And adjectives are those that we describe. You know, we add to the noun, we add information, they're describing something. A noun that describes or qualifies another noun is a na'tun. Okay, so the noun being described, qualified is man'atun. So here you have mawsufun, man'utun, mawsufun, man'utun. Noun that's qualified is called mawsufun or man'atun. Anything that has a sifat, which is not, sifat are also known as na'at. So here you have a house, which is so na'at is jadid. So this is describing, and whatever is describing the noun that is qualifying, it becomes a man'utun, okay, or mawsufun. In Arabic, the na'at comes after the man'utun, so the qualifying noun. So whatever you're speaking about, it comes after it. The na'at or the adjective comes after it. So we'll say house new. Okay, in Arabic we say house new. In English we say a new house. So for us, an adjective comes before. Agreements between na'at and man'utun, and they should be agreed in the following. Okay, so gender is number one. Indefinite versus definite. So, you know, when you have something that's indefinite, it should continue with that same rule. So here you have jadidun, okay, because it says mudarrisun jadidun. Here you have al mudarrisu al jadidu. So you have al here, which is a definite, and indefinite is with the double voweling, and here it tells you grammatically what they are. Case number 3, I am in a new house. Ana fi baytin jadidin. So here this is indefinite. Why? Because it has double voweling at the end and it has no al, which is what we described before. Same here. Hada baytun jadidun. Okay, so here we have هذا, which is also definite as we've discussed before, and anything that comes after هذا will be badal, but here we're talking about nat and man'utun. Then we have numbers. Okay, so the numbers are something that inshallah we'll go through in detail at a later time. So أولئك طلاب جدد. So these students, or those students, are new students. ذلك طالب جديد. This is a new student. So this is talking about one student. It's double vowel, so we're talking about a. And here we're talking about plural, so we say أولئك. Okay, so those students. So this is a part of ذلك and تلك. So instead of saying, when we're talking about plural, we say أولئك. And the plural is same for masculine and feminine. Nominal sentence with natun and man'atun. Okay, so the sparrow is a small bird. Mubtada, khabar, wa man'utun, natun. Okay, so that just describes technically what there is. So we have subject here. Okay, we have a qualifying noun, which is the da'irun, which is the bird, and saghirun, which is small. So this is nat. This is our adverb. The broken chair in the room. Al-kursiyyu al-maksuru fi al-ghurfati. Okay, so what did we say? We said after fi, every noun that comes after it becomes majroor because it takes a kasra. Okay, and that's just grammatically to remember. Here you have mubtada, al-kursiyun is mubtada, wa man'utun. Why? Because maksurun is describing it. Okay, so this is only harf jar. So from here, this is shibh al-jumla, it's harf jar. So the nat, the adverb that's adding information, that's qualifying the noun, is maksurun. And you have another example here, mubtada harf jar fi al-madrasati thanawiyati. Okay, so I'm in a secondary school. Thanawiyati is a secondary school. So here you have again nat harf jar. So again, after fi, we see it takes kasra, and then that follows it, and the nat has to follow the noun that is qualifying, so it has to match it. Okay, so that's what we've looked at here. Here, the sparrow is a small bird. You see, da'irun and saghirun. It takes, both of them take a double voweling. Okay, so that's what you need to remember, is that it matches. So you have some examples here in the Quran. A luminous book, kitabun mubinun, khuluqin adhimin, rasulun karimun. You see how they're matching. Okay, so all of them have double voweling. So here you've got qasra, okay, and then here you have qasratain as well. Okay, and because here we have the preposition. You have here الصراط المستقيم, so the straight path, and then here is a great عذاب عظيم, a great torment. رزق كريم, so honorable provision, a near victory, وفتح قريب. Okay, so this, you see that they are inshallah matching together. So where is the nat? Can you describe for me where is the nat? Okay, so it's already given you an example. So one of the things is do look through some examples and try and find what is a nat. So al-arabiyyatu lughatun sahlatun. And the Arabic language is an easy one. Okay, so always remember nat comes after. So here in Arabic, what we said easy language, and in Arabic we say language easy. Lughatul sahlatun. Okay, al-lughatu al-arabiyyatu sahlatun. Okay, so here there's two ways you can so make two additional sets of sentence on the above pattern. Write the meaning and the analysis as shown above. So the analysis is basically technical terms. So here you have mubtada, khabar wa man'utun. Why is it khabar? Because anything that follows mubtada will be khabar. Okay, and especially if it doesn't have a nat. And it's also man'utun. Why? Because it is a qualifying noun for this nat. Here you have al-lughatu al-arabiyyatu sahlatun. So here you have mubtada wa man'utun. Why? Because this is a mubtada, but it's also matching with this, and this is nat. So remember, the nat has to match the previous noun. So here these two match. If we moved so if we remove the nat on here, it take the al, but it doesn't take the l. So we know the nat is qualifying this one. Here we know the nat, the adjective, the adverb is describing is qualifying this noun because they're both matching. So that's how you spot them. You can put your own two examples and see how that works for you, inshallah. Okay, so here there's an example for you. Check that with your teacher. Make 2 additional sets of sentence on the above pattern. So look at the first one, not or not. Okay, so here you have man'utun and na'tun, kitabun jadidun. Okay, and then you had al kitabu jadidun. Okay, so that, you know, this is not na'at. Why? Because you have badal and then you have khabar. Okay, otherwise you would see it matching. Okay, so here you have na'at. Okay, why? Because they're matching. Here you have not, both of those are matching. Okay, so here mubtada and khabar, you don't, you know, yes, they are matching, but you know, it's not an adjective, it's not a noun, it's just an information. Abbas is a merchant. Okay, it's not, it doesn't act as a sifa. Sifa is the one we qualify the noun. Okay, we're speaking about the noun, we're not speaking about a subject. So that's the difference that you need to understand, inshallah, in Arabic. Al-kitabu jadidun, again, is mubtada and khabar and not nat. So nat is a qualifying noun. It qualifies, it's a qualifying adverb that qualifies the noun that precedes it. The relative pronoun, al-ismu mawsulu. Okay, alladhi is called the relative pronoun, and there are in dual and plural. Inshallah, we'll go through those at a later date. So alladhi is called the relative pronoun. It's translated as who for all rational things and which for irrational things. So we said aqli and ghair aqli last time. Anything, whenever we say who for people, we say alladhi, and if we say it for things, we'll still use alladhi, but we will just use it for irrational things. Excuse me. It is used for masculine and singular, feminine and plural will come later. It's also followed by description, which is known as silatul mawsuli. The man who left the room is a merchant. الرجل الذي خرج من الغرفة تاجر. So here we have الاسم مصول, which is الذي. Okay, silatul mawsul is this all here, this box here. خرج من الغرفة. Then you have الذي here, that's اسم مصول, and then silatul mawsul. So anything that comes after, you have a grammatical description. So it says that it is always followed by a description, which is known as silatul mawsul. So the description that follows a alladhi, okay, is known as silatul mawsul. Natun as alladhi. So nat, alladhi acting as a nat, and the man is a merchant. Okay, الرجل تاجر مبتدا خبر. The tall man is a merchant. مبتدا ومنعوت نعت خبر. الرجل الطويل تاجر. So here you have again, it's a subject mubtada, but it's man'utun because there's a nat after it that's qualifying it, and then you have the khabar, the information, which is tajirun. The man who left the room is a merchant. So here you have alladhi. So mubtada wa man'utun, al-ismu mas'ul wa na'tun. Okay, so here it also acts as a nat. And then after that, why? Because it's qualifying this noun. It's telling you which person exactly. Silatul mas'ul is kharaja min al-ghurfa and khabar is tajirun. This is by revision, looking at the examples, trying to take it in, trying to understand it. Okay, so making sure that you understand what is mubtada, what is khabar. So if mubtada and khabar come alone, they stand alone together, this is what they look like. If they do come in a sentence, you would see them, the nat qualifying the first noun. The present verb, fi'l ma'di, so this is a past tense. Fi'lun, verb action, doer, is fa'ilun. So the person who's doing the action is fa'il, and fi'lun is the action. So the man fa'ilun is sleeping. So here we have the man fa'il, the doer, and then here sleeping would be the fa'il. The base for the Arabic verbs in the past tense is fair, and we'll come to that, the base form which all other verbs come from. Okay, and we always put it in the third person, corresponds to the third person. So huwa. So for example, when we looked at the ma'ir, we looked at the pronouns, we looked at those that are detached. Okay, so not munfasil. Okay, munfasil, not muttasil. So muttasil are they connected, and munfasil are those that are detached. So we looked at detached pronouns, and what did we see? We said you need to revise all of them. So huwa was one of them. It means he. When we look at a verb, when we speak about a verb, kharaja is in the past. Okay, and we refer to that saying that he left. Kharaja, he left. When we see a tense like this, we know that it's a past tense automatically, and we know it's talking for the masculine third person, and that is the base of Arabic tense verbs. So basically you strip everything around it, and that's a base verb. And the same in English, when we have ing, we strip the ing off, which we put in a present tense, and we may take ed off. So what is the base of the verb ask? Ask, right? That's the verb. That's the base of the verb. When we make it into a present tense, what are we doing? We're putting ing on it. When we're making it a past tense, what are we doing? We're putting ed on it. But the base of the verb is ask, ask. In Arabic, the base of the verb is a past tense. Okay, so in English it's not a past, it's a present tense or present simple. But in Arabic, it's the past tense, and you use it for the third person, the huwa. Okay. The past verb, okay, so almost all Arabic verbs can be traced to a three-letter verb, and that mainly the Arabic verbs are three. But that's not, again, we have exception to the rule. That's not all the time. We have up to 6. They can go up to 6, but most of them are 3. The remaining few exceptions are traced to 4-letter verbs. Okay, so they're saying 4, but there is more than 4. To understand the structure, the 3-letter verbs are defined on a pattern of fa'il. Okay, fa'il means the verb, basically. So every time when anybody who wants to study Arabic at a high level, they may get a tense which they have to strip away. So you may have a base tense in Arabic that's put into a past tense or a future tense, and you also know that you will put seen or a ya, and if it's in the past tense you will have waw and alif if it's jama mudhakkar. What do you need to do? You need to strip all those extra words away, and you need to make the base verb, and the base verb matches that, which is fa'ala. So kharaja, fa'ala. Okay, so that's the way it basically means matching it up. You need to match it up with that. And they call it the 3 radicals, which is fa. The first one, fa, kalimat, means a letter. Second is ain, and third is lam. So what we're going to do is match, okay, kharaja with these 3 letters. So kha matching the fa, ra matching the ain, and jim matching the la. Okay, so and that's what it's basically saying. So here we have fa, ra, and ja. Okay, so it's giving you, it's matched it for you here as well. Okay, so the past verbs here are, okay, so here you can see they've broken them down for you. The dhahaba, again, they matched it for you with fa, ain, and lam. Jalasa, okay, with fa'ala. Nasara, nasara. Fa'ala with the fa, noon with the fa, ain with the sword, and ra with the lam. Sami'a, karuma, okay. In all the basis of words, the 3 letters, and they make the past tense. So that's something as well that you need to revise. It will start getting complicated, but every time you need to look at the base of the verb, you need to go back and match it with that. So if you have a verb that's put into Arabic in present, and those of you who know Arabic, you know that you may have ya at the beginning, you may have waw, alif or jama, mudhakkar, you may have alif ta. Okay, so for muthanna, jama muthanna. So what do you have to do? You just break away all those, you strip all the extra words off, and then you put it back in a base verb. Okay, so here we have the suffix of the past verbs. So the conjunction of them. How do we make the past verb? So here you have your huwa. Okay, so here's huwa, here huma and hum. The alif is called alif al-waqiyah. Okay, alif of protection. It protects the waw from being mistaken for a conjunction, and it is written but not pronounced. Okay, so they are talking about these letters here. Okay, so they are written kharaja. Okay, kharaju. So these basically what we were just talking about when I said you strip away everything. So you have the base verb kharaja, and then we put an addition onto it. Okay, this addition, the vowel and the alif here are just basically telling you what the past tense. They're showing you the past tense of a verb. The past tense of the base verb, as I said, is always going to be as a third person, and it will always be masculine, and it always will refer to he. Kharaja will be they, to, masculine. Kharaju will be jama, waw, alif. This is what I was talking about before, and this is basically for they, plural, they, okay, or them, okay, them all, or them two and them all. That's I think more appropriate translation. What I do want to draw your attention to, not to get confused, is every verb you see here, it has the same base verb as kharaja, kharaja, kharaju, kharajat, kharajata, kharajna, kharajta, kharajtuma, kharajtum, kharajti, kharajtuma, kharajtunna, kharajtu, kharajna. It has kharaja in it. But what happens, what we need to do is whenever we see these, we know which detached pronoun the verb is referring to. So when I see this kharaja, I know it's dual because I know it has alif. And I already told you the huma and the huma for them two, for masculine and feminine is the same. And I said the only way to distinguish it is in the past tense in a verb. And I said the feminine one will be preceded by a ta, and alif will be preceded by the ta, and here you will just have the alif standing alone. So that is one way of, that's the only way, sorry, of distinguishing the difference between that. You have hunna, and you only add noon to kharajna, okay, and then you always have to remember the changing of the voweling. Kharajta means he went out, or you went out, masculine, okay. Antuma, okay, them two went out, kharajtuma, and antum, you all went out, okay, and that's jama, kharajtum. And then you have the female, which is kharajti. So you see ta for the male and ti for the female. Kharajtuma. So here you will find here the verbs are the same. The past tense is the same for tuma, okay, for masculine and feminine. Kharajtunna, okay, and this is tunna, you all left, okay, and that's khatib, those who are present. Ana kharajtu, I went out, okay, so we say kharajtu, sharabtu, okay, kharajna, we all left, we all went out. So the ending is what matters, okay, and this addition shows you the who are we speaking about in the past tense. So if I see this, I know it's talking about he in the third sense. If I see this, I know that it's talking about the dual masculine. If I see this, I know it's talking about masculine plural. If I see this kharajat, I know it's talking about a female, okay, and it's talking about a third person female. Kharajata, this is talking about you, which two people, and it's feminine, and it has a ta, whereas the other one, the jewel, doesn't have a ta. Kharajna means they all went, the females. This is Jama. Kharajta means that you went out, a masculine. Kharajtuma means you two went out. Kharajtum means you all went out. Kharajti means you went out, female. Kharajtuma means you two went out, feminine. Kharajtunna means masculine, you all went out. So it's talking to those who are present. Okay, we said this in Mukhatab. Then we talk about ourselves, we say kharajtu. Kharajtu fil bayt. I went out of my house. Kharajtu fil bayt. Okay. Kharajna. Kharajna min al bayt. Kharajna, sorry, min al bayt. Okay. Kharajna min al bayt. We left the house, or we went away from the house. This is really important to revise, otherwise it will get confusing. What I suggest is do exactly like this. Put the verb in the middle or at the top of the page and start converting the verbs into the different tenses. So obviously this is the subjects. This is fa'ilun. In Arabic, the subjects, we have to modify them when we are talking about anybody. And the difficult thing is that you have the dual and masculine and the singulars. And that's something that's tricky. This going to have to remember that. Again, so the same thing is repeated here with different verbs that you have here. Kharaja, zahaba, sama'a, garuma. Okay, so here you have the four tenses, and you see the same pattern applies. So this is a good way of revising what they are now. Even without looking at these, I know who's being spoken to. So here I know it's ana. Here I know it's nahnu. Okay, here I know it is anti, because it's got the kasra here. I know it's talking about anta here. Okay, I know this one is hunna. Okay, so they, which is different to this one tunna. Why? Because this one has a ta and that one has a ha. If I can find it here, so zahabna, zahab, or sami'na. So this is just has one noon at the end, whereas this will have a ta. Okay, ta before it, because it's present. You're talking about somebody who's present. So you've got to familiarize yourself with this, and this will take quite a long time. That's all for today. Thank you very much for watching. We will take lesson number 5 next week. Well, I do want to go back and tell you which page numbers to focus on now. Now that we've talked about now and all the grammar, you could go all the way from page 21. You could carry on going. What you need to do here is basically, if I can just quickly go back, is you look at the description. So here's the okay, so here you have the moon and the sun letters, which I've already brought your attention to, which you should have done by now. And then the next class that you're supposed to do is basically here you have Aina, which means where. Aina Muhammadun. Wa aina yasurun. So aina means where, and here you have huwa here. This is where you can practice or your pronouns here. The mir, okay, the mir munfasil. And then here's some questions for you to answer based on the text above. Okay, so then you have some more exercises here. Please do use the English one if you are getting stuck and confused. Your teacher will go through this with you in class. You have here the nouns, the names of people. So here it talks about double voweling for male and one vowel for female. So Muhammadun and Aminatu, Khalidun, Zainabu, Hamidun, Fatimatun. Okay, so here you just have there is a broken nouns that we will go through later on in the lessons. Okay, so here we have minal, which we already saw. Min is from. So we are now looking at harf jar. So remember what we said after harf jar, the noun takes a kasra and it comes harf jar wa majroor. Okay, jar wa majroor. That's what it's called. Ana. Look, think back at the pronouns that we've seen. Ana means I went. Huwa means he. Okay, so here you'll start to understand, inshallah. So here, remember, zahaba. The base verb is zahaba. when we see any basic verb, we know it's referring to he, third person, masculine. Okay, don't forget that. Here again, ذهب إلى المدير. ذهب إلى المدير. He went to the principal. Okay, mudir is a manager, but here in the book is referred to as the principal. Okay, tamreenun, an exercise. So here you have a set of questions to inshallah answer. So go through them, please, in class with your teacher. Al-kalimat jadidun is basically new words. As I've said before, please keep a vocabulary book with you. You then come to al-dars al-khamis, which is the 5th letter. Okay, so basically it's a dialogue. Read through that dialogue. You have ismu ishara here, so you have hada, ya yasir. Okay, so this is harf ataf. So that will inshallah we'll go through that in our grammar point. You have here dharf zaman. Okay, so we talked about that, under. Okay, we talked about ala, on. We haven't talked about aina, but it means where. We've talked about huwa, we've talked about hada. So hada qalamun al mudarris. Okay, so here you have ismu ishara that you can talk, and the ismu ishara, remember, is for those things that are close. Al qarib, hada, or hadihi, which is for feminine. Okay, so here you will do you'll put a sign on the okay, so here's the signs are done for you. Okay, so you just complete these. Okay, so here you have kitabun Muhammadun. Okay, so kitabu Muhammadin. Okay, so here's mudaf and mudaf ilayh. Okay, now remember that this is the kitab kitabu Muhammadin. Remember, a possessor, and the possessor and what is being possessed do not take al on it. So that would be what we've covered in the previous lessons. Okay, here you have some more. So I presume these, yeah, you read all these, okay, and go through them, answer any questions that are there. Okay, so you keep going through that, and then you have some questions here through that text that you can inshallah finish off and complete in your time. Again, here you have Kitabu Man Hada, whose book is this? So here you fill in the relevant, looking at the picture, the relevant text. So here Kitabu Man Hada, whose book is this? So man, as we said, man is who. Min, when you put kasra below the meme, it means from. So just remember those two and do not please get confused, because they are completely different meanings here. Okay, so here you have mudaf, mudaf ilayh, going through them again. So you could go all the way up to ad-dars sadis. I'm just trying to, okay, so here we have hada ibnu hamidun wa hada bintun yasirun. So if you feel comfortable reading through this, you can do, but I'm sure that your teacher, yeah, your teacher would have gone through these as well based on the lessons. So ma hada hadi mikwatun. So here you can answer these questions, which you've already done. Hada, you've done la and you've done here. We've already said that we use some feminine pronouns for objects and masculine pronouns for any objects. So liman, we looked at li harf, this more is a particle. Liman, for who is this? For who is this? And we say, and in English we'd say whose is this? We won't say for who is this. And li is almost like for or to, for who, to who does this belong? To who does this belong? So that's what they want to talk about, and how they talk about it, how they construct the sentence, sorry, in Arabic. Here you have the parts of the body which we talked about. So we said anything that's in pairs is feminine, anything that's singular is masculine. So go through these based on the lesson that we have taken, and see that if you can answer those questions with the correct ism ishara demonstrative pronoun. You could carry on going through. I think you'll go through all the way to page 40. So here you have man hada, hada amana, man tilka. Tilka is the feminine form which we saw. For dhalika, for those things that are far. So we say dhalika for masculine, tilka for anything that's far, for feminine. So we've already covered that in today's lesson, so you can go through that as well. Then you have okay, so then you have okay, let's just go back. Right, okay, so here's an example. So here you just read and write. This is Tamreen. You just read and write this one. You can do take, whenever you see a box like this, please take down the new words and write them down and write their meanings. Okay, so here again they're reinforcing or reiterating that statement of what is hadha and dhalika and hadihi and tilka. Then you go to الدرس ثمانين. Okay, ثمانية or ثامن. Okay, apologies for not being able to get my words out there. Okay, هذا رجل تاجر وذلك رجل طبيب. Here what you want to do is read through this and try and see, and if you understand, it does use a lot of هذا and هذه. It is the ذلك, sorry, هذا وذلك. Again, it is هذا وذلك for masculine. If it was for feminine, it'd say هذه and تلك. So you have those examples you need to put into it. Here again, we're talking about Sayara, which is feminine, the car, because it ends in ta marbuta, so that's why we will put hadihi. So again, this is all what you've covered in your lesson today, inshallah. So you can work through, inshallah, all this. Again, carry on going through that all the way up to page 44. And then here you can continue from here. Okay. And yeah, so all the way up to page 45. You think you could finish this lesson off? Okay, so you're on lesson 9. Okay, you comfortably with these 3 lessons could probably do all the way up to lesson 8 or 9. If you are struggling, please go back to the class and just go with what the teacher is on, because I'm sure they finished in the lesson today, in the 3rd lesson they would have started with the number 40. So we have gone a little bit ahead from this lesson. So please do go back in class and ask your tutor for any doubts, inshallah. I do hope that you find this session beneficial. Jazakumullah khair for watching. Wa akhir da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.